What a day we've got today for you. Welcome to the Plantcast. I'm very excited about our guest today because I've been trying to get him on for a long time. He's a busy guy. And so we finally got him today. He's in between bids and getting back to work. So we're going to just talk about some trees. But before we do that, as we always do on the Plantcast, we have our featured plant of the episode. And just for you, Kevin, I brought a tree in. This is a tabaui, and this particular one will bloom purple. So most of them have those yellow flowers. And the thing about the tabauis is they're usually planted in an open space on the property. And when they flower, you know, the wind usually knocks some flowers out, and they get what they call a carpet. It's like a yellow carpet, and people keep it. Like they won't mow them up or anything, because it's just as beautiful on the ground. Somehow the flowers last a little while. But yeah, this one's purple. And when we're done here today, that's yours.
Thank you, George.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it.
Let me just move this out of the way. And thank you for being on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, George.
I know it's a long time getting you on here. I know
Yes, it is.
You're busy. So how'd you get started in the tree care business?
Around 14, 15 years old, my neighbor, Jeff, with Gulf Coast Tree Service, I wanted a job back when I was younger, so I kept bugging him and his wife, and by the time I turned 16, I started. I couldn't run chainsaws or the chipper yet, and everything I learned from the tree business was through Jeff Pringle from Gulf Coast Tree Service, and I've been with him about 28 years now, solid.
Wow. Yeah, you made a career out of it.
Yes.
And it's like tree care for life now.
Yes, I mean, it's a good career, it's a good paying job, it's physical hard. The mental state of mind of it, it is a very dangerous job.
Oh yeah.
So it's nothing you can rush through. You literally have to take your time and be precise of what you do.
Yeah. And you guys mainly have done like the maintenance or the tree care, which is kind of once you get on a property and you learn that specific property with the trees, it becomes like a routine. What do you do, like annual or?
We do annual and seasonal. So when we go on properties, it's certain properties we already know what we need to do.
Yeah.
So we just do it. But then we get new properties, so we just come up with a game plan with the homeowners or property managers like you, and then we get a game plan of what to do.
Yeah.
So we'll come to George, we'll show up, George is the property manager, we'll be like, George, what do we want? What do we want to accomplish? What are our goals? Do we want to do it every 6 months, every year, every month? And then we just keep communicating and we have a game plan through there.
Or taking a tree out like you guys just helped me do on a job, big job out on the islands.
Yes, Boca Bay, north. Yep. We did.
Yep.
We took out a big ficus tree.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is I wanted to talk about the difference between ficus trees and banyan trees. In our area, in our temperate zone, these are like really popular trees and everybody loves them. But there is a difference between the two.
Yes. So a banyan tree has different leaves and a root system. They, like you said earlier before the broadcast, they're like an anaconda. They move with the root
big
systems.
Roots. Yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about the tree.
Yes. Now a fig tree has smaller leaves, more beads at the top, and the feeder roots come down like stranglers.
Yeah, those are they're like look like vines coming down, but when they touch the ground, they attach.
Yes, and then they attach with each other, and then that's what makes the big root system from the lead of the branch down to the ground. That's what makes the big root system into a banyan tree. That's why everybody thinks it's always a banyan tree when it isn't.
Right. Yeah. So the banyan, the beautiful thing I think about the banyans, like when you go up to the botanical gardens right here in our town, Sarasota, I guess those ones have been there a long time. But when you have those winding roots, and they're thick, I like to mulch it out. Like some people put ferns in there, but I like to just keep it clean so that all you see is the roots, and like a dark mulch or a dark dirt really makes them stand out even more.
Yeah, the root system is what makes the tree. The root system and the canopy. When
Yeah.
people block the root system, you really don't get to see the natural part of a banyan tree. You get to see the part of the fig tree coming down.
Yeah.
All the roots coming down and vines, but you don't get to see the root system actually.
Yeah.
I like your idea of where you just lay black mulch or soil, put a couple little lilies in there or something, but you still got the architect of the design of how the tree is
Yeah.
actually there.
Yeah, let the roots itself be the beauty of it. And even in a situation like that, as a designer, I would even restrict growth in between the roots by putting like a couple matching pots. You know, that way you keep stuff from going nuts all in the ground.
Yep.
You know? And so with the Strangler figs, what's interesting to me is people don't realize you and I have both seen over the years. You'll drive by a cabbage palm. It's got this like tree growing out of it, and then a couple years later, it's half the thing. A couple years after that, the cabbage palm's gone, and it has literally swallowed it up.
So
How does that happen?
So when the roots come down, it's either the roots are coming down on the base of the cabbage palm or coconut palm or queen palm.
Right.
Whatever palm's in there, or it can even be another tree, a black olive that grew up in there. If
Yeah.
a bird comes by with a seed and drops it in, that's what starts the growth.
Yeah, the bird's sitting in the tree, he's pooping or whatever.
Yep.
And it somehow plants itself up in there.
It starts in the base of the boots and stuff. It has water, nutrients, and everything, so it starts growing
Yeah,
out.
the fiber that's in between the boots is almost like the perfect soil or whatever. For
Soil
a
and
tree.
fertilizer put together.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just a tree, a cabbage palm inside the ficus tree. The cabbage palm could be way on the other side of the yard, and you'll see a little sprout coming out the side of the tree.
Yeah.
And every time you see the sprout coming out of the side of the tree, it's because a bird laid a seed in there, and it's starting to neutralize, and then it grows from there, and then it starts sprouting out.
Yeah.
Usually we try to leave them for the character and look,
Yeah.
and then start shaping it, but a lot of people like them removed too.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's enough cabbage palms in the world.
Yes.
But the funny thing is, you can't buy those. That's the only way to get them. Is
Yes,
just
they're,
through
so they're
nature.
invasive. There are places that do sell them, but they're very difficult to get a hold of,
Yeah,
and they're very expensive
I would imagine.
because they do not want them installed no more because they're invasive like a pepper tree and stuff. They were brought over from another country and they don't want them here.
Yeah.
They want their nature and their regular trees, which I disagree with that. I think they're beautiful trees. They give you good canopy, good shade. They're a beautiful tree if you keep them maintained properly.
Well, and the funny thing is, we have a very popular street here where we live on an island that's called Banyan Street. And unfortunately, due to, we had a rough time with multiple hurricanes, flooding, and everything else. And I think that really damaged them a lot. But people love the fact that it's the canopy that spreads. So you have, like a canopy road you can drive under. I think people do weddings there and all kinds of pictures and everything. So, but yeah, you just need to look out for what is a banyan tree and what is a fig.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then right now with all the storms with no water on them, no fertilizer, no maintained back-to-back storms, the salt got into the root systems. So everybody's thinking they're alive, but they're not. The focus they need to be watching, the color of the leaves,
Yeah.
the seeds sprouting or dropping, and the bark.
Yeah, when that bark starts to split, it's probably already too late.
Yes, and if you see your ends where your cutter has cut, if they're not milky and they are dry, that means the tree has an 80% chance of dying.
Yeah.
The best part is to hire somebody that's licensed and insured
Yeah.
and remove it, because if they do break, they are dangerous. One, they're going to
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
you. Two, they're going to destroy your property. And three, it's just better off to get it off the property and removed safely with a licensed arborist or somebody.
Well, and it's safer for the tree care company because they can predict, when you're cutting hardwood, you can predict what it's going to do, how it's going to fall. But when you're cutting deadwood, I mean, they could go either anyway, or just fall apart while you're cutting it.
Correct. I've done multiple of them where they have been dead that we have to tie them and rope them and remove them, and we can't. So it makes our job more difficult.
Yeah.
And then the price, you know, we are very fair of our price, but nobody understands that it is a very dangerous job, and they think it's easy. So that's why you get companies that go out there that don't have the proper assurance, the proper workman's comp, and then they get hurt and stuff goes wrong, and then they call you back to try to fix it.
Like a bad haircut, you got to go in and repair the bad haircut.
But the problem is we can't repair something that they've already damaged real bad. So
I hear you.
It's better off to get multiple bids and make sure you look at what they've done and how much experience they have.
Yeah, and so one of the things that happened when all those hurricanes came through and the flooding is all those trees got salt rinsed, and that was in late September, early October. So that goes into the dry season. So if you think about it, you had salt rinsed trees, and then for 8 months after that, basically no rain.
Correct. Plus you had no water on the island. And when they did have the water hooked up, there was a lot of restrictions. No irrigation.
Yeah, they weren't going to let you rinse those trees
Nothing.
out.
You couldn't even use your garden hose. The garden hose wouldn't have had enough water to rinse them out.
Right. You need like a water truck.
Yeah, you needed a truck. You needed irrigation 24/7 on it for a few weeks.
To rinse them out. Yeah.
But there wasn't nothing there. And with everything that was going on back to back, it was very hard to get all the sand, beach sand and salt away from the root system.
Yeah.
In order to get soil, fresh soil, nutrients it needed, water, everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of them on the beach, the sand just got pushed up. The trunks were under sand.
Correct.
Worst case scenario too.
And once so you had guys going out there with heavy equipment, removing it away from the trunk.
Scraping the roots.
Scraping the roots, scraping the trunk. Right there, once you start scraping it, you're damaging it.
Yeah.
It's like cutting yourself on the skin. You peel your skin back, you start bleeding. Sometimes it heals. It depends. You know, sometimes it scars up. Once it starts scarring, and you have so much scars on the roots, with all that salts going into the wound.
Yeah.
So once it starts healing, it's starting to eat the salt, which then starts going up the base of the tree and starts rotting it out.
Yeah, it's like the trifecta of the worst case scenario.
Correct. And the other thing about banyans and figs is when the branches snapped, big leads, big runs, they would have holes and rips in them. So when it rains or people start watering in there, they have to understand the water is going into the base of the tree now, into the trunk.
Yeah, instead of feeding it up from the roots.
Correct, which then starts making it rot out. So once it starts rotting out and go all the way down, they start dying.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was hard on everything around here. And another thing I want to ask you about is in our area we have what's called mangroves. These are they grow in the water, but now what is the rule or the distinction between, I know you can't remove them, but you can trim them, or you can hire somebody to trim them.
Correct. So you have to have a certain license in order to trim mangroves.
Oh, that's its own thing.
That's its own thing.
Wow.
The only you got to maintain them. You can't cut bigger than 6 inches. Mangroves are a water protection, so it stops all the corrosion into the beach. Not only that, but it helps the manatees. The manatees eat off of it. The fish eat off of it. Barnacles grow onto it. Oysters grow onto it. It is a Florida natural
part of the
plant.
ecosystem.
Yeah. But there is a certain license you need to cut them. There is a difference between red mangroves, white mangroves, green mangroves. There's 3 different varieties, buttonwood.
I didn't know that.
So you just have to pay attention and make sure you have the right person to cut them and keep it clean.
Yeah, I mean, I see these houses on the water, and they do a good job. It looks like a hedge.
Correct.
over the water, but that's got to be tough work, though.
It's hard to climb in and out of them.
Yeah.
the way the system works and how they bind into each other.
The best thing you could do is like lay some boards down and you're like walking in there.
You think it's that easy, but it
It's
isn't.
harder than that.
It's harder than what you think, because you don't want to make big pockets inside it.
Yeah.
You want it to make it look like a flat
Like
hedge
you were never
tree.
there.
So you duck down, you crawl, you pop up, you cut a little bit, duck down, crawl, and then turn around and get all the poppers.
Yeah. So I guess in conclusion, we're in a part of the country where there's a lot of palm trees. So now a lot of them have been brought in. They're not from here, but they're nice. Like I'm like you. I think we should have a variety of trees, even if they're not from here. And one of them is the Washington palm.
Washingtonian?
Yeah, a lot of people keep them trimmed, but some people leave what they call a skirt, and
Correct.
the skirt is like all the dead fronds, and they kind of like tuck into the trunk. And I guess, why do people do that? For like animals and...
So people like to trim them to keep rats, ants,
Keep
bugs.
them clean, yeah.
Keep them clean away from their house. I like them when they're actually skirted all the way down. It looks like a Hawaiian dress, basically.
Yeah, it literally does.
And they are beautiful. Now, if you go more north, like northwest, go up to California, Los Angeles, Vegas, they're skirted.
Yeah.
Arizona is the best place to actually go see one. They are skirted all the way to the ground. They do grow up to 200 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
And they are a beautiful tree when they're skirted.
Yeah.
When you cut them, you only got 3 fronds left. But they do fall out because the seed pods will come and grow quicker than the fronds,
Right.
which then tries to make it skirt again. And then you're back in 6 months cutting the seed pods out.
So, like you're saying that the fronds actually follow the pattern of the seed pods. That's how it gets its
Correct.
skirt look.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know down in Fort Myers they got some massively tall ones, and they keep them trimmed.
Yep.
But now that's a tree guy's worst nightmare, because I know over the years I've seen stories, I think out of California, where guys go up in there, they're trimming that skirt when it's heavy, and it'll take them. It'll swallow them.
So the trunk of a Washingtonian is big at the bottom.
Yeah.
So when you start climbing up, it gets narrower and narrower to put your spikes in. They look like they're big up there in diameter-wise, but they really do shrink.
Yeah.
And since we're on palms and stuff, the other thing, you really don't want to cut Washingtonians. You want to try to get that skirt look if it's there.
It's better for everything.
Correct. Christmas palms, royals, foxtails, those are self-maintaining palms.
Yeah, they peel off.
Where they peel off.
Yeah.
I don't like when people or homeowners or customers ask me to trim them. I really don't like trimming the dead, because when the next frond wants to fold down and peel, it's hard because when
the old boot's still on.
the old boot's still on, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have enough pressure to pull the old boot, which then that actually starts hurting that tree.
Well, yeah, it kind of like smothers the trunk, right?
Correct.
Or could start
The head of
rotting.
the head of the plant, it
Yeah.
starts smuggling it, and it's hard to get it off, and then it starts dying, and then
Yeah.
you'll start seeing them churn and fall and break.
Just let it do it itself.
It's natural tree. That's why
Yeah.
they call it natural maintain. Let them do it itself.
Yeah, just trust that it knows what it's doing. So, yeah, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, you do good out there. I'm glad to be here. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind being back on your show.
Yeah, we'll have you
in
back.
the
Do another
future. There is something I would like to bring up. Hurricane season is right around the corner.
It's coming.
Homeowners, commercials, buildings, everybody needs to start being prepared. Make
Yeah.
sure your trees are away from your house, big branches. Start cleaning up and get ready, because
Well, it's easier to trim that stuff now than if it falls over on the ground. I mean, if you guys probably have a program where you trim it pre-hurricane season, so that if that does happen, the wind's blowing through it instead of catching it like a sail and
correct.
blowing it down.
Like oak trees, ficus trees, banyan trees, black olives. the more you get the tree open for wind to go through,
Yeah.
the more chances you have it from not
It'll
snapping,
stay up.
breaking, going through your house and stuff.
Yeah.
Dead pine trees, yellow pines right now, and whispering pines are the thing to remove if they're dead and they're close to your house, because they will snap and they will go through your property.
Yeah. I know after that, Ian and the big hurricanes we had 3 or 4 years ago, people lost a lot of trees.
Correct.
And they were asking me what to replace them with. And I was, especially on the island, I was suggesting, I said, look, if you don't mind it, the best thing I would recommend is getting deciduous trees that lose their leaves for half the year. Because now when those get wind ripped, yes, they'll look like sticks, but they'll come back.
Yeah, by the time they get back from up north for season,
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
they won't know nothing and they'll be flush green again,
Yeah,
you know?
and hopefully the tree will stay standing. But yeah, I appreciate you being on. We'll have you back.
Thank you,
and,
George.
Good to see you, man.
I appreciate it.
Yep.